Good morning. Looking at the behaviors of the current occupants of the White House, for example, the public mockery of opponents, a tendency towards inflammatory or provocative statements, and the style of communication that is frequently blurs the line between political messaging and personal grievance. These traits, in their view, reflect a degradation of the norms traditionally associated with presidential or statesman-like conduct. Norms such as restraint, respect for diverse communities, and a measured tone in public discourse. When examining claims about Trump's rhetoric, specifically towards Islam, the issue becomes more specific and more serious. Mocking or disparaging a religious group, whether through social media or public speech, can have consequences that extend, way beyond politics. Islam, like many other faiths, traditions, is followed by millions of Americans and billions worldwide. Public figures who use dismissive or derisive language risk reinforcing stereotypes, deepening social divisions, and normalizing disrespect towards entire communities, rather than engaging in substantive critique of policies or ideals. From this perspective, such behavior is often interpreted not merely as provocative, but as indicative of a broader shift in communication style. Instead of appealing to shared values or engaging in policy-driven debate, critics argue that this approach leans heavily on spectacle, outrage, and cultural antagonism. Over time, this can create the impression, fairly or not, of decline in judgment or discipline, especially when compared to earlier expectations of presidential decorum. However, many of the supporters of Trump might interpret the same behavior very differently. They often argue that his bluntness is intentional, that it reflects a rejection of what they see as overly cautious or politically correct discourse. In this view, his style is not deterioration but disruption, a deliberate effort to challenge established norms and speak in a way that resonates with people who feel unheard by traditional political elites. The tension between these interpretations, basically they highlight a deeper divide in American political culture. What one group sees as honesty and authenticity, another sees as recklessness and disrespect. What one side calls strength, the other side calls incivility. The debate is not just about one individual, but about what kind of public discourse the country values and expects from its leaders. His rhetoric, particularly when it targets religious groups like Muslims, affects social cohesion, political norms, and the tone of national conversation. Whether one views his actions as deterioration or disruption, the impact of such communication is undeniable. It shapes how communities perceive one another and influences the standards by which future leaders will be judged. In this current dispute with Iran, initially the world was told it was about nuclear weapons. When all of the monitoring agencies reported that Iran was compliant with the monitoring of this issue, we see that the real issue is the oil wealth of Iran. And to send American soldiers off to die for oil is unforgivable, especially in an administration that reduces the subsidies regarding electric vehicles, solar energy, and wind power, all at the behest of the oil industry oligarchs. The impact of this administration's actions will impact the world order for many generations. The United States will not be viewed as a reliable partner in peace, time, or in war. The adults in the room must take action against the behaviors that are displayed by the members of this administration. May the Creator guide us all and grant us protection in this perilous times. I'm Imam Nadim Suleiman Ali, just giving you my thoughts on my morning walk.